We'll continue with the topic, right? And we'll start with the history and development of the mobile communication technologies, right? Or the wireless communication technologies. Now, when we talk about the mobile communication technologies, and before invention of the introduction of electromagnetic waves, right? People they were used as smoke as the signal, right? So even no in today's, I mean, in the live programs and people who stuck in the forest and they will know make a fire and that smoke will be used as a signal so that the rescue people they will reach in the particular place and they will try to rescue them. Very similar to that, the before invention of the electromagnetic waves and the other signals, right? People they will use a smoke as a signal as well as the light as a signal, right? Even in the navy in some other places, right? They the captain, I mean, there are technicians. What they used to do, they used to reflect the signals to the other ships, so that acted as a signals, I mean the light waves acted as a signals to convey some messages. And then actual electromagnetic wave, which was coined in the year of 1678, right? Huygens worked on the phenomena of light reflection, the refraction, and we all might be knowing about what is the light refraction and then right, light refractions. And in the year of 1819, the Fresnel demonstrated the wavelength and the nature of light. And then, and I quickly I'll just cover it, right. And in the year of 1831, the Faraday demonstrates electromagnetic inductions. Now, whatever the telecommunication devices which you are using, right, all this which works that electromagnetic forces and then electromagnetic inductions. So based on these technologies, so these were the fundamentals, right, that which was started in the year of 1980s, right. And then in the year of 1964, J. Maxwell introduces the theory of electromagnetic field and then wave equations. So based on that, the following in, I mean, after 20 years almost, right, it demonstrates experimentally the transmission of the detection of electromagnetic waves between the 2 points a few meters apart. So this was the simple milestone, and Hertz was demonstrated that the signal which can be transmitted between the 2 points and that the maybe the smaller in distance a few meters, that the electromagnetic waves which has been transmitted between the 2 points. After that, in the year of 1896, Marconi recognized that the longer waves propagates over a longer distance and demonstrates a communications set up over a 3 kilometers. Now, in the year of 1896, Marconi, and he used longer waves. When we talk about the longer waves, the signal which may propagate to the longer distances, right, and which was propagated to the longer distances. I mean, that setup was the communication or the data. I mean, the signal transmission which took place near about a 3 kilometer distance, right? Now, when you talk about this technology or this setup, which required the high power transmitters, right? That the transmitter they have used was a bigger in size, almost 100-meter high. Now that was used to transmit the signals where we need the high power and the high transmitting powers. That used to transmit the signals for even for 3 kilometers. After that, now in the year of 98 to 1898 to 1901, right? Again, there were some other things which were coming to that. Abhishek Yadav, do you have any doubt? Write it in the chat box. Abhishek Yadav, you raised your hand. Are you there, Abhishek Yadav? Write it in the chat box in case if you have any doubt. I think he did by mistake. I assume that he did by mistake. I'll proceed with that. I'll proceed with the lecture, right? Now, he first demonstration of wireless telegraphy. Okay, by mistake. Okay, no problem. And to that, they've used that the telegraphy, which was the most for digital. Even in some of the naval communications, the captain they should know how to transfer the Morse codes. Even in worst cases, none of the telecommunicating devices works in the ship, and they should know how the Morse code should be transmitted for the emergency purposes, right? And then they have used a long wave transmission over the longer distance and the operating frequency of megahertz. So now you'll just understand what is this megahertz, and in the later part we'll discuss about the complete the frequency range what is Hertz and what is signal, what is spread spectrum, that we will cover up the upcoming sessions. Wait a second. Okay. And then in the year of 1906, right, the first World Admin Radio Conference, which was implemented, the conference was organized, right? And so that in that they discussed about that there was huge demand, and the people, they started using the radio system, and they were expecting that the more number of people they might interested in using that radio communicating devices, right? And they discussed about that the different bands and then frequency, how that can be implemented practically for the users, right? And then in the year of 1970, they started using with that the commercial transitions, right, which was coming under the existence, right? And then that technology they have used almost 30 100-meter high antennas, as I mentioned earlier. Even the Marconi demonstrated the experiment with the huge or high power transmitter, which was almost 100-meter in height, and which uses the larger transmitter, a bigger transmitter, very similar to that. So here they have used a huge base station again, which almost they have used near about 30 100 high transmitters, right? And then in the year of 1915, so they used for the wireless voice transmission. So for till this in the year of 1915, right, they were used only the code transmission, right? After that, in the year of 1915, they have started transmitting the voice information through wireless medium. So that successfully, which they demonstrated, or they transmitted the voice through the wireless transmission medium from New York to San Francisco. So this was no different milestone for the wireless transmission by the voice, right? In the year of 1920 again, so now again, so Marconi played a major role in order to use bring this wireless technologies, right? Again, so he discovered the short waves. Early he used, right, the longer waves, and after that, in the year of 1920, again Marconi he invented, or he tried to use the short waves again. So what is the purpose of the short waves, or how the short waves are works? The short waves are which have the ability to reflection of the ionosphere. So whenever we talk about the short waves, that reflects and depends on the reflection, and it may try to propagate to the longer distance. People still are joining, almost 15 to 20 minutes. After that, in the year of 1933, and then the frequency modulation which was introduced. When we talk about the frequency modulations, the normal frequency, so that will be converted into the different shapes when the voice is added to the frequencies, right? Again, in the year of 1946, right? Again, they have started with the mobile telephone services, right, which was introduced, allowed the telephone calls between the fixed station and then mobile users. When we talk about the fixed station, means again it is the switching center, right, and the operating center or base station from that place, right? Again, so they demonstrated a call which is connected to the mobile users, right? In that, for this technology, they have used one single powerful transmitter or receiver, that is called a base station, and provided coverage up to 50 kilometers. That means that they have used a high power transmitter or a base station, right, which was providing a coverage area of 50-kilometer radius, right? So you think about that. What was the power of the transmitter they used? How much power it was required, right? After that, I mean, the based on the frequency modulation technology. So here with the same thing, right? Again, the channel which was used for 3 kilohertz, which is used the total of 120 kilohertz spectrum. 120 kilohertz spectrum is the complete frequency. Out of that, each user will get a 3 kilohertz. Now, how many channel you will get? So you can get it 120 divided by 3. how much you will get it? 40 channel almost. Out of that, one channel will be used for transmitting the signal. Again, one channel will be used for receiving the signals, right? So maximum how much users, how many users they might have get the services. Now only half duplex. Other thing is that only a half duplex services was available, right? So suppose if all the 40 users they wanted to use the single frequency or carrier, then they go for with the half duplex channel. One person has to communicate his information, the other person has to wait. So by the way, they have used, right? And then now in that cases, it was only 12 simultaneous calls could be handled. So though it was no, as per our calculation, it was 20. I mean 20 full duplex channel. It was only operational comes under the only 12 simultaneous call, which was not handled that time. After that, there was a changes in this technology, which is in the year of 1958, Germany they have started using no analog cellular connection setup only for the mobile stations, no and over. So here, when you talk about the and over, so this is again one of the important terminology or functionality which comes under the mobile telecommunications. Now, I will like to ask a question, and you might be traveling in a no mobile, or you might be traveling in a train or bus, or you might be traveling in a flight, right? How you are getting interrupted services? Suppose if you are traveling in a say for example, if you are traveling in a train, the train might be running at the speed of 60 in case of local. I mean local train or electric train. So suppose if you are starting from Bandra and you are speaking on the phone and you started your journey, maybe after 10 minutes or 15 minutes you might be reaching Andheri or Jogeshwari. So without that, no, from Bandra to Andheri or Jogeshwari, and you will be getting a continuous or uninterrupted call. How that is possible? So you can write your answers in the chat box. Try to make more interactive. Signal bounces between the network towers. Okay, Bharat Dave. Okay. This is a reminder to all of you. Know mention your attendance in the chat box using the following with standard notations: UIN, PI, name, and roll number. Okay, good answers. When you talk about that, there could be no different base station or different transmitter which might have placed between the different geographic locations, right? So, for example, simply I could say that there is a base station which is in Bandra. Again, one more from no Kandivali. Again, sorry, what is the next? Which is Car Road, and then Santa Cruz, and then so let's assume that one base station which is placed in the particular station, right? Suppose if you are you started speaking on the phone in Bandra and your train is moving, right? Say for example, in between somewhere, Bandra to Car Road, in between, right? Your all functionalities, right, which will be transferred from Bandra station, no, Bandra station base station to the car station base station. By the way, so here this process and overing the complete setup, right, without disconnecting the call, right, transferring the complete functionalities from one base station to the other base station. So that calls a handover. What will happen? Suppose in case if does not have the handover functionality, what will happen? Whenever you're crossing the coverage area of the particular base station, automatically you will be disconnected. That cases again you need to make a call to the your opponent person and then you need to continue it, right? So to provide or to get uninterrupted connection, you need a handover functionalities, right? And then so we'll continue with the history, and then here in the year of 1972, right? So these are all the A nets, B nets, and then C nets. Are these are the network? The nets which was no introduced by the Germany, and there was a different frequency range. Depends upon that. There was no improving the number of customers who could get the services, right? And after that, so they started no identifying the use of the microprocessor, right? When you talk about again the microprocessor, now we all might be knowing about the microprocessor which we uses in our the laptops. So again, so that no that takes place from the computer third generations, right? From that time, right? everything which has been completely changed, right? We know with the small particles and the tiny devices which consist of the millions of minute elements, and which is used to perform better than the previous things. Very similar to that again, the digital control links they were using, that digital switching are the control links where they will connect the base station as well as the mobile unit, so that automatically which increase the services as well as the number of users, right? And there are other features which were been added, right? And over and then digital signaling, automatic location of the mobile devices, all these the features which has been identified after that. So in the year of 1979, which was actual telephone or actual mobile phone which was started, right, which was called advanced or analog mobile phone system, which was used in the year of 1979, right? So actually we'll consider from this point we start our the zero generation or first generation, right, mobile communication, AMPS, advanced mobile phone system, which was used in the US country. And then the second, in the year of 1977, NMT, Nordic mobile phone, right? Nordic mobile technology, which was used at the frequency range of 450 megahertz. And then so there was no different no versions. And then TACS, which was again the another variants of AMPS, which was the total access communication system, right? Again, as we discussed in the previous, again the CNETs, which was again introduced by the Germany. And then in the year of 1991, DECT, Digital European Cordless Telephone, which was introduced. So again, so this in the earlier generation technology, which AMPS, advanced mobile phone system, so that comes under the generation of first generation, that they use only for the voice transmission. Now when we talk about DECT and then GSM, so these are all the second generation technologies, right, which we're trying to use, I mean, along with our voice communication, it was trying to use some other features or functionalities like call forwarding and then voice transmission and then SMSs and then the other call waiting options, conference call options, all these features which is added with these technologies, and which was called the 2G things, which is DECT. Again, when you talk about GSM, which was 1880 to 1900 megahertz, again which was range in then 100 to 500-meter range. So these are the specifications. Again, 120 duplex channel. So here there were only 120 users and then 1.2 megabits transmissions, right? So this was used for voice encryption, where the signals are the information which has been transmitted in the encryption format, right? Again, so which was up to covers up to 10,000 users per kilometer square. So there was no advancement in technologies, as well as they were started using the different modulations, frequency modulation, and then all the time modulations, all these things. Because of that, so the single frequency which was able to provide a services to the large number of users, right? So all these DECT as well as GSM. GSM stands for Global System for Mobile Communication, right? Again, so all these the two variations, one is DECT, which works in that 1800 megahertz frequency, and then the GSM, which is 1900 frequencies. So there are two variations, GSM with the 1800, GSM with the 900. In our country we are using GSM 900 megahertz, right? And what are the features of this GSM 900? Again, automatic locations, like as we were discussing about the device portability and then mobile portability, and then automatic handover, and then will provide a good cellular system, right? Again, nowadays more than 100 countries they have started using in the year of 1992, right, using that GSM. When we talk about the GSM, which was trying to give that the data rate which was 9.6 kilobits, when compared to our today's data rate which we uses in 4G. So this was very less, 9.6, right, almost 12 kbps, right, 12 kilobits per second, and an average. After that there were different variations, right, international standards 54, 126, and then 95. That all these technologies, right, which was a variance with the ALPS, they started using the multiplexing signal, time division multiple access, code division multiple access, and then frequency division multiple access, right? Then after that, in the year of 1994, GSM, which came into the existence with the 1800 frequencies. Even some of the countries, right, German countries, they are using that 1800 megahertz frequencies, right? Now again, so there are some other variations, right? In the year of 1996, right? Hyperland, which was introduced again, which was used to combine with that high performance radio local area network, right? Which is again, which was operated to in this frequency, which is 5.1582, and then 5.30 gigahertz, right? And the data transmission rate, which was 23.5 megabits. Now, these are the some of the other now technologies which was came into the existence, right? And then we started about that wireless LAN, right, which was providing that 2 Mbps data transmission rate, right? Now again GSM successor, which is UMTS. Now this from this UMTS we'll say it is the third generation, which right Universal Mobile Telecommunication System, which also we will call it as a IMT 2000, right? From this point our the third generation telecommunication starts, and then along with that, right, we were using the other technologies like Bluetooth specification, which we uses in our the mobile phones, as well as we use our the wristband or Bluetooth watch, right, or the Bluetooth headphone. So these are no unlicensed frequencies, right, which are no you can able to operate with the smaller distances, right, again, so which work almost no 1 bits per second, or the advanced mobile phone technologies which uses almost 10 bits per second, right? Now suppose if you are trying to connect the devices through the Bluetooth mode, and which is more than 10 meters, and you will not be able to get the services. So these are the few the revolutions which the history we came across, right? So whatever the mobile phone which we have in our end, so this did not happen in a day. So it took near about a few hundred years, right? Started from 17th centuries, now is 21st century. It took a major change or revolutions. Finally, we have the highly equipped, highly configured devices, right? So when we talk about the different subscribers, this is what the strategy which is which is given by the Ericsson.com, right? Almost right here, almost 8 billion people are having the mobile phones as of now, right? Out of that, maximum number of more large number of people we are using this. The green line which indicates that 4G. And some of the advanced countries like China and then Australia and then US, right, they have started using that the 5G networks also. Very soon we can expect the 5G network in our country also, right? The government, they are working on that. Soon we'll expect the implementation of or the existence of 5G network with us. Now these are the some of the areas where we can focus on the research, right? We can focus on the transmission quality, modulations, media access, and then we may focus on that the mobility, again the location dependent services, location transparency, right? And then we may work on that the portability, right? The power consumption cell. The most of the telecommunicating organization, they are working on that, right? How they can able to how they can provide better battery backup, right? The larger, maybe the larger in milliamperes, right? And limited computing power and the sizes of display, and know how they can make the devices which is more comfortable. It looks like it might be better than the laptop what we uses in a day, right? So these are the some of the places where we have the scope to the research in the mobile communication areas. So these are the reference book I've used for this, for these lectures, right? As I mentioned, Joseph Skinner is the textbook, as well as the Wireless Communication by William Stallings, right? So these two books, which is available in the form of PDF, soon I will upload in the Moodle account, and then you can make use of it. In case if you have any doubt, right, you can write it in the chat box.